The autumn high tide discarded Susie Bennet under the lighthouse, on the beach she'd avoided for 20 years. Miles of sand stretched on either side, bleak and deserted, except for Susie, dog-walker Libby Forest, and a Springer spaniel called Shipley. Libby shivered. She should have brought a thicker coat. She tugged the hood further down, against the wind that snapped strands of wet brown hair across her face. "What's that?" She freed the dog from his lead and squinted ahead. Shipley barked, whiskers quivering, head pointing across the sand towards the 9 stumpy legs of the lighthouse. Probably just an old sack washed up on the tide. Still, we'd better take a closer look. Sand clumped on Libby's boots. Closer to the lighthouse, where the mud sucked and tugged at the unwary, she picked her way with care, testing every step. This was no old sack. Shipley nudged Libby's legs and licked her hand, his tongue warm and soft. She rubbed the dog's ears. "It's just a drunk, I think." The drunk's jacket offered less protection against the weather than Libby's anorak. "We'd better wake him." She braced herself for a mouthful of abuse as the sleeping drunk woke and shook one of the leather-clad arms. The figure slid noiselessly to the sand. The spaniel nosed it, whining. "Quiet, Shipley." Libby squatted beside the body, brushed sopping wet hair from the icy cheek, and searched the neck for a pulse. She knew from the hollow sensation in her stomach what she would find. "It's a woman." Shipley howled. Libby staggered up, legs trembling. "What's more, she's dead." They were still alone on the beach, the only walkers to brave the morning's weather. Libby shivered. "We'd better tell the police." She tugged a mobile phone from an inside pocket and fumbled, jabbing at the numbers. "Hello, do you need fire, police or ambulance?" This was only the second corpse Libby had seen. The first, belonging to Trevor, had been laid out at the hospital, triggering a mix of horror and guilty relief. There was nothing she could do for this woman. Who could it be? A local? No one Libby recognized. But then she hardly knew anyone. Just Marina, Shipley's owner, Frank, the proprietor of the bakery where she worked, and a dozen members of the local history society.